The fishermen here in the Tees estuary, they'll tell you they're in the middle of an ongoing environmental disaster. They haven't caught any crabs or lobsters since about autumn of 2021, when there was a mass mortality event. Thousands of dead crabs and lobsters being washed up on the beaches around here. An investigation by DEFRA concluded that an algal bloom of toxic algae was the most likely cause. But since then, independent scientists have come up with an alternative explanation, that it's actually toxic sediment that's been dredged from the Tees estuary and dumped a few miles offshore that has been the cause of those die-offs. And there's more evidence for that, they say, in that those die-offs have been continuing. Documents that have been seen by Sky News suggest more than 50 reports of marine life being washed up, dead or dying. And on top of that, dredging activity, and we've just seen some of it, is continuing to go on in the Tees estuary, partly for the development of the new Freeport here. Now, in response to pressure from campaigners and MPs, DEFRA has assembled an independent expert panel to review the potential causes, and that's expected to report later this month.
Wildfires are ravaging the Santa Fe province of Argentina. The government has said that much of the country is on an extreme alert because of an extended drought in the region. Now, Argentina's forests are vulnerable because the dry conditions make it easier for the woods to catch fire. The firefighters are battling the flames and have said that they expect the situation to actually continue to get worse till the rains come. Now, the fires have led to the destruction of crops in the Santa Fe region. Farmers say that they've not seen wildfires like this before. They fear that actually all of this could affect their harvest in the coming season. Argentina's National Meteorological Service recorded 2 unusual heat waves in the end of 2022. The South American nation saw a maximum temperature go up to 45 degrees Celsius at the end of 2022.
Around Australia, coastlines are being battered by weather events. On calmer days, along beaches in parts of the country, heavy machinery helps replace thousands of cubic metres of sand each year. Coastal development, the construction of roads and buildings, particularly in urban areas, along with the disappearance of sand dunes, have had an impact on erosion levels too. It has also exacerbated the issue of drift, which sees sand stripped from one part of the shoreline and dumped elsewhere, depending on tidal movements. Using a mix of tidal maps and satellite data, the federal government has been collecting information and charting Australia's coastline for decades. Beaches in every state, including the Northern Territory, have been impacted by erosion, including those close to the New South Wales and Queensland border.
According to a study published in the journal Nature, over 40% of all land vertebrates will be exposed to extreme heat events before the end of the century if the current fossil fuel trends continue without interventions. Defining extreme heat as a period of time that has been significantly exceeding, scientists in their study divided the exposure into 3 different global warming pathways that are high global warming, intermediate global warming and low global warming. Under a high global warming scenario, the study found out that more than 3,000 land animal species, that is 11% of all species, will experience extreme heat for more than 6 months out of the year. Further expanding on how each animal group will be affected, the study showed that over 55.5% of amphibians and 51% of reptiles will be affected the most. Under the intermediate global warming scenario, if the global temperatures rise up to 3.6 degrees Celsius, approximately 28.8% of land animals will face extreme heat, which is way beyond anything they have historically experienced. Animals residing in deserts, shrublands and grasslands will be the most affected due to these extreme temperature shifts. Now, considering a final scenario of low global warming, if the temperature goes up 1.8 degrees Celsius, which is in alignment with the Paris Climate Agreement of limiting warming below 2 degrees Celsius, researchers in their study said that under this low warming scenario, only 6% of land vertebrates will endure extreme heat events.